Good afternoon once again. This is Jacob Mountain back with you live here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. At 3:23 p.m. on this Tuesday afternoon, the National Weather Service in Detroit has issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern portions of St. Clair County. This is an extension of the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for this storm that we've been watching. Moving on to Macomb County now in the southeastern St. Clair counties. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 4:15 p.m. this afternoon, and this is for the potential 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which is really the primary hazard of this storm, although some penny-sized hail is also possible. This is radar indicated, and this severe storm will be near Marine City around 3:30. We'll go over some other locations that are impacted by this severe thunderstorm, include the Anchorville area, Pearl Beach, Adair, and Fairhaven. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building, preferably away from windows. Now let's go with the who's in and who's out. Fairhaven, you are in. Pearl Beach, you are in. The Algonac area, or Algonac area, I apologize if I mispronounced that. If anyone from that area is watching, feel free to correct me in chat. But the Marine City area, you are also in. And St. Clair, you are in the St. Clair area, you are in the warning as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch over from the... Well, first of all, for those of you in East Central Macomb County, this storm is now moving out and into St. Clair County. Stay inside for a few more minutes if you're in the New Haven area. New Baltimore, you're still seeing some storm activity, but you are on the back end. If you're in the New Haven or the Richmond areas, stay inside for a little bit longer, because there's still lightning danger, but the worst of the storm has passed your area at this time. Now let's go ahead and switch from the how hard is it raining mode to the wind mode on radar. And as you can see, we're still showing potential for higher winds, particularly north of the Fairhaven area, heading towards the St. Clair and Marine City areas. We are a little bit higher now on radar, about 2,500 feet, 2,500 to 3,000 feet from the radar. But we are still showing 670 to up to approaching 80-mile-per-hour winds in spots on radar with this storm. Again, this is about 2,500 to 3,000 feet up, so not all this may be necessarily reaching the surface, but going to the back heavier rain, the hail and whatnot, that could easily bring wind gusts up to or potentially in excess 60 miles per hour, in excess of 60 miles per hour, down to the surface. And this is the issue we've been seeing since back towards the Pontiac area in Oakland County. It has tracked east through eastern Oakland County, into Macomb County, and now in the southeastern portions of St. Clair County. So if you're along Interstate 94 between the Macomb-St. Clair County lines and towards the St. Clair area, may not be the best of ideas to drive through that right now, with the high winds and heavy rain, potentially some hail as well. But if you are also on M29 between Fairhaven and St. Clair, I would not advise driving through that right now. Just with the storm moving in, you'll see some very, very heavy rain, some high winds, potentially some smaller hail as well. Just not great driving conditions, so I would advise no driving at this time. Let the storm pass. But again, this storm is warned primarily for the potential 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We will be watching for some signs of penny-sized hail as well. Speaking of that, let me take a look at the hail at the vertically integrated liquid mode on radar, which helps us look at storm strength and hail. And we are showing a little bit of a hail core just north of the Fairhaven area. And this will take it towards the Marine City area. This is for the hail and potentially some gustier, some potential of penny-sized hail and damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. This is primarily tracking towards the Marine City area, assuming it holds its strength. Alright, what do we got here from the Weather Service? If you're in Macomb County, the severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for eastern Macomb County as the storms have left the area. So this is primarily a St. Clair County issue for the potential, again, of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some quarter-size hail. Let's just go ahead and zoom out and take a quick regional look at radar. And there's the severe thunderstorm we've been watching. We do have a damage report. This is from a train spotted at around 3 p.m. in Rochester Hills. A couple trees down near Avon Road and Rochester Road in Rochester Hills. That does make sense with what radar was showing at the time. Let me go back to around that point. That was around 3 p.m. And that makes a lot of sense with what radar was showing at that point. Let me go back one more scan. Okay, so this is at 2:57. That makes a lot of sense because the radar was showing this is the wind mode, 60, 70, even upwards of 80-mile-per-hour winds on base velocity, and this is around 900 to 1,000 feet from the radar. So that would be consistent with at least 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, if not a little bit higher than that. So it does make sense that we would have trees down in that area around that time frame. Alright. Check for anything new. Okay, that's just a convective outlook update. Okay. So we're watching this storm that will be exiting into Ontario over the next storm's moving east at 55. So give it another at least 20 minutes, maybe a half hour. This storm will be out of here. We are watching some other cells that have developed down towards the state line, like near the Hudson area, near the Hillsdale, Hudson areas, east towards just south of Adrian, towards the Blissfield area, and then towards the Maybe area. The Maybe area, we are watching some additional cells that have developed. And let me switch to a lower level scan. Is that up? Yes. Okay, no, not really. Alright. The radar's not doing too good there right now, but we will be watching these cells as well in case one of them does flare up and exhibit the same locally damaging wind gusts and hail potential that we've been continuing to watch across portions of Oakland, eastern Macomb County, and now in the southeastern St. Clair counties. I will say that once these storms are out of here, our window for severe weather will be closing as we continue to have a cold front make its way through the area. And as you can see off to the west, towards Alma, the Lansing area, Ionia, and especially off to the northwest and the northern lower Michigan, temperatures have been dropping off behind this cold front. And outside of these storms, we have also been seeing some very gusty winds from time to time as well. Like at, this was at 1915. So at 3:15, the Tuscola area airport near the Cairo area is reporting west winds sustained at 29 miles per hour, gusting to 46 miles per hour. This is the Port Hope's automated site was reporting winds sustained to the west at 24 miles per hour, gusting to 53 miles per hour. This was at 2:55. And the Lansing site at 2:53 was reporting west winds sustained at 23 miles per hour, gusting to 45. Earlier this afternoon, we did have a 58-mile-per-hour gust reported at the MBS International Airport near Freeland to the northwest of Saginaw. This site earlier reported a 57.5, we'll say 58-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that has been causing some power outage issues across our area, but particularly in northern lower Michigan, where some of that up there might have been contributed to the trees have been weakened from the ice storms we had a few weeks ago up there. Significant ice storm that weakened the trees, so these gusty winds are having an easier time taking down tree branches or trees right under the power lines, causing some elevated power outage issues once again up that way, particularly near the Lake Huron shoreline. I've been seeing a lot of outages. So I do expect our severe threat will be done probably closer to 5-6 o'clock across our local area, as we are expecting the cold front to be mostly through the area at that point. And these storms have still been a little bit out ahead of the cold front as well. So, we do not expect a significant severe weather issues out of this today, but we've already been having couple severe thunderstorm warnings, and we'll have to watch these storms down here to see if we can't get a couple more, though. Maybe another warning or two if one of these do strengthen, particularly near and south of the US 12 corridor. We'll be watching for that. So one more quick look at our severe warning storm that is now moving into the Marine City area, toward St. Clair areas. It looks like they just updated the warning as a matter of fact. So Fairhaven, New Baltimore, you're out of the warning. The Algonac and Pearl Beach areas, you're also out of the warning. This is primarily a Marine City and St. Clair issue at this point. And then it will be crossing the St. Clair River and out of the southern Michigan region into Ontario. So, let me see if we have anything from the Weather Service. Check some other sources here. We are seeing some wind damage reports, particularly from some reports starting to come in from the New Haven area. We are seeing some wind damage. So very gusty winds of these storms in the Marine City and St. Clair areas. And then we will be watching this activity near the state line to see if it does anything. But I do expect the localized severe weather threat to be done in our area, probably around the 5 to 6 o'clock time frame when we get the cold front through here. And our gusty winds will begin to wind down towards the 6, 7, 8 o'clock time frame as well, once that cold front gets through here. So, with nothing, and this storm leaving the area over the next 15, 20 minutes or so, I am going to go ahead and go back off the live stream. I am still going to be monitoring radar to see what the stuff down towards the state line does. And if any additional warnings are issued, I will be back with live coverage as conditions warrant, with live cut-ins. And if any portion of our area ends up under a tornado warning, although the likelihood of that is relatively low today, we're not seeing anything to really suggest a tornado threat, but nonetheless, doesn't mean something can't sneak up on us. So if any portion of our area ends up under a tornado warning, we'll be back with live non-stop coverage until that danger is over. This is Jacob Melton once again coming to you live from the Southern Michigan Weather Center. Stay tuned to Southern Michigan Weather. We will keep you